well, when we could start going in restaurants and stopovers when we were going, on a bus or a train and all like that. We wouldn't have to change seats. I mean, you'd have to do that on trains sometimes and on buses for sure. When you cross certain state lines, the bus driver would let you know that, okay, black people have to go to the back. I mean, you have to get up out of your seat and go to the back of the bus because in this particular state, I mean, that's what the law was.
Wow.
In the South. So I had to stand up across I was on leave and my mother was dying of cancer in Arkansas. And I stood up in the aisle all across the state of Arkansas. I mean, in the middle of the night, I was the only one in my uniform. I had my ribbons on and everything. And I'd come back from overseas. Mm-hmm. And, and there were empty seats, but I couldn't sit down.
What?
Because these seats were reserved for white people, the royalty.
Yeah.
Right. See, I'm a person of color. Didn't make any difference. My uniform is my skin, like it is with every non-white person.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your skin is your uniform in the system of white supremacy. That's your uniform. I don't care what kind of uniform you're wearing. It made out of cloth or whatever, or what your title is. Your uniform, your prison uniform, is the shade of your skin. And so I was in Japan during that time because I had an Air Force uniform. Years earlier than that, I had a Army uniform.
Yes, sir.
I've been in two branches of the service. But at that particular time, I had an Air Force uniform on, and I was in Japan. Now, Japan, I'm wearing the uniform of people who the Japanese remembered dropped bombs on them in World War II. They associated that uniform that I was wearing with that. The Japanese lady that I worked alongside of every day told me that her father was killed in a B-29 raid in World War II just a few years before, about 10 years before, when I was in Japan. But I was treated by the Japanese better in their villages and in the towns that I went through. And I very seldom went into town and all like that, but going through Tokyo, a Japanese person, a male person, who saw that I was kind of turned around about where to go to find Ueno Station. That was the name of the station, the train station. He carried my bags voluntarily. He saw that I was confused.
Yes.
So he just came up and offered, I didn't know what he was up to. And he said, he indicated he would help me to get to the station. And I told him he didn't have to carry the bags. I could find the station if he'd just point to it where to go. And he wanted to make sure that I got there. So he took me to the station. I mean, carrying my bags with him, and then, bowed and like that was their ancient custom.
Yes, sir.
Bowed several times and then walked off. Now, when I came back here, all I got on the bus in Arkansas was hostile looks. The very fact that I was in uniform, those white people looked at me as if I was some type of alien. As if to say to me, I think you know that you wearing that uniform, you think that wearing that uniform is going to get you some privileges or going to get you some type of respect here. You get nothing. All right? You could see it in their eyes. They watched me the whole time I was standing up on that bus, making sure that I didn't sit down. That was along about 1956 or 57, right along the time of the Little Rock crisis in Arkansas.
Wow.
All right?
Wow.
Now, that's a true story.
Yes, sir.
Okay? My mother was dying of cancer. I was going to see her, and I was in uniform, but I could not sit down in a seat that was empty on a bus in Arkansas, under what people say is the land of the free. All right? Color of the skin. That's the criteria. You animal, you were born with the incorrect color. Sorry about that. So you're supposed to be dogged around for the rest of your days. Wow. That was the message. And that still is the message.